So we move over to our final guest speaker, who is another Srila Gurudev's beautiful, darling son, who helped establish devotees or Srila Gurudev come to Houston for the first time. His whole family's are bhakts. He's encouraged many people to join the Sangha, and he's a scholar, and he's actually a wonderful person. These are things that I've seen personally when I've heard him speak, and things that I've heard from devotees that are around him. It's none other than our Sriman Vishnu Prabhu from Houston.
Hare Krishna and Danvas Pranams. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Vishnu Prabhu, we are.
Okay. I'm sorry, our they're mowing the lawn. So in case you hear too much background sound, I'll just move to another place in the house. Okay.
No worries.
Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikayai Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvami Niti Namine Shri Krishna Leela Kathane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunaisha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Shri Narayanam Tvam Shirsa Namami Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I want to first offer my unlimited obeisances unto the divine lotus feet of my Paramaradhitam Gurudev, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and then my humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. I want to thank Yashodhari Didi and Yashodanand Prabhu for organizing this Bhakti Zoom and giving me an opportunity to share some personal memories of Srila Gurudev. I know the time is very limited, so I'll share just a few of them. Srila Gurudev, I always feel that, and I think it's true, that Ananta Shesha, who has thousands of hoods and thousands of mouths, he may be able to glorify. It is said in the scriptures that even he cannot, with his thousands mouth, glorify the Supreme Lord. But even if he's able to glorify Krishna, even if that's possible, I don't think he can glorify Gurudev. Nobody can glorify fully the transcendental qualities of a pure devotee like Srila Gurudev. And I am not a good speaker, but with very little intelligence, limited intelligence, I want to say how Srila Gurudev has touched our lives. And for that, I want to first thank His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, by whose mercy I came to Krishna consciousness. And he, right in the very beginning, arranged for me to meet Srila Gurudev. It was back in 1986. I was had just started my second year at university in Delhi. And it was Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day in November during Kartik, and I had gone to Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan. This was just my second visit to Vrindavan. And I was sitting, there was this program for Srila Gurudev, for Prabhupada's disappearance day. And I was sitting all the way at the back. and all the sannyasis were sitting facing um, Srila Prabhupada's Vigraha. If you have been to Krishna Balram temple, the deities are on this side, and on the on the left side there is Srila Prabhupada's Vigraha. So everyone is sitting facing him, so everyone's back is towards us. So then they announced, and some speaker spoke, and then they announced that Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj will now speak. Um, and um, as soon as Srila Gurudev stood up and faced, I just burst into tears. I've heard many devotees who have expressed that how they first saw Srila Gurudev, they just burst into tears. It was so intensely emotional. And that was my the moment of bursting into tears. Of course, many times after that, the same experience, but I did not even know who he was. I was so new to Krishna consciousness. I had just come a few months ago and even taken initiation, but did not really know much. And here is this personality who stood up, and he had a very big beard, because this is Chaturmas, unlike in ISKCON where all the sannyasis and everyone shaves every day. In Gaudiya Math, as you know, our sannyasis and devotees shave only during the Purnima, and especially during the month of Kartik, it's only after 2 months they shave. So it was big, thick beard. But when Shri Gurudev stood up and faced all of us, I felt as if an electric current went through my body, and as if I'm seeing someone from Golok Dham standing right in front of me. I did not know who he was, I did not even understand his name, but had that intense experience and wanted to have his darshans again. And it was again Srila Prabhupada who arranged for me to meet with him in person after 4 years, again on his disappearance day. So it was by some divine arrangement that on his disappearance day, when we were going to Vrindavan, our car broke down and we went to Mathura to get it fixed. And on the way back, we stopped at Keshavji Gaudiya Math because it was on the way. And we went upstairs, and there is Shri Gurudev sitting on his very simple wooden chair. I'm not sure many of you may not have seen that chair, but this used to be right outside Shri Gurudev's room when he was in that small room, not when he went to the level up, which is the second floor, above the level where Thakurji is, and a bigger room. But before, when you came up to the level where the temple room is, there was on the left hand side a very small room, and right outside there was a very simple wooden chair, and that's on what Shri Gurudev will sit on. And he was sitting right there, and some devotees, Mathuravasis, were sitting around him. And seeing him, I, remembered that he is the one that I saw 4 years ago and had that intense experience. So it was again Srila Prabhupada, by whose mercy, because we had gone to Vrindavan for his disappearance day, that he arranged me to meet with Srila Gurudev. And I also want to thank for this. It's amazing that how in life things happen, and they happen for a reason. We don't realize it at the time when that happens, but when it happens, you understand that there is some divine arrangement of the Lord. I was actually in the US doing my studies in 90s in University of Delaware, and because of some problem in our family business, my father needed me to come back, so I took a semester off and went back to India. So that's the reason I was there. And I was kind of upset that I had to, in between of my studies, had to go back, miss a semester. But because I was there, and because we were going to Vrindavan, and because of another, and I always want to express my gratitude to this eagle. That eagle became the cause of our meeting Shri Gurudev, because when we were going to Vrindavan, and we were just right about ready to take a turn on Chatikara, there was this eagle which was feasting on a dead animal. and being provoked by a car. That time on the Delhi Mathura road, there was not much traffic. Today, if you go to Mathura or Brindaban, those highways are clogged. But in those days, back in 1990, there was hardly any traffic. So as our car went by, it got provoked and flew past our car, and the windshield broke into pieces. And because there is no auto shop in Vrindavan, because of that, we had to go to Mathura. So if that eagle had not flew past our car that day, I would have not gone to Mathura, and we would not have met Shri Gurudev. We just happened to go by Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt. And Ramchand Prabhuji was us, and he had been there once before. So just because we were passing by, he said, "Oh, let's go and take darshan." And also, by some divine arrangement of our Guru Varga and the divine mercy of Shri Gurudev, if we had reached there just 5 minutes late, Gurudev would have left. He was just ready to go to Brindaban because he had just had his angioplasty, and he was going to Brindaban to take rest for 10 days at the Markish Maharaj's house, which was right next to Krishna Balram temple. So we requested him that since we are going to Brindaban, we can give you a ride in our car. And Gurudev said, "No, we will go in Fatfatia." And I don't know if you have been to Brindaban and in Mathura. This is that rickety rickshaw, which has seats, two seats facing each other in the front and one seat in the back. And it makes so much sound. It jumps up and down. And it's the most, a difficult vehicle to travel in, because it's just the ride is very bad, and the roads there are full of potholes. So I was just amazed because we had seen sannyasis traveling in nice cars with a lot of facilities, and here is someone, again, I still did not know who he was and what was his relationship with Srila Prabhupada and how great a personality he was, but he just looked so divine and such. And I just felt that he was just a very, very special personality. And he is saying, "No, I don't want to give you, um, give me a second, I'm just going to get this mover to wait." um, Come after 10 minutes. After 10 minutes. After 10 minutes. Okay. Do it there and then come back. Sorry. So, so we insisted, and Shri Gurudev was serious. He did not want to give us any inconvenience. So this was just amazing, and that simplicity, that sweetness, that love and divinity that he had, which I saw back in 1986 and 1990 when I first met him. The same thing was in his personality all the time. From the time when Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt was so simple, that I came to know later on that when Pujapad One Maharaj told that when you people used to come from Delhi, and as we became very close to Shri Gurudev, and whenever we would come from Delhi, this was still beginning of 91, Shri Gurudev will send some devotees downstairs quickly to get some fresh juice for us. So there was these, hawkers right there, and they had, they will squeeze fresh fruit juice, and he would get it for us. And one Maharaj told us that, sometimes we would not have the money because there was not much facility in the mutt. But Gurudev wanted to make sure that we were taken care of nicely and we were not inconvenienced. So he would try to arrange all these nice prasadam, and even though there was not much in the mutt. And then there was a time, of course, as the preaching expanded, and I've seen devotees come, just like Kamala Didi mentioned, that she brought so much, a big bag of donation for Gurudev, and there was millions of dollars coming. But our dear Shri Gurudev was still the same. He came to Houston, stayed with us, but his sweetness and his simplicity and his love, his was still the same when he had nothing. Of course, his heart was full of immense treasure, priceless treasure, which is invaluable. But just in his dealings with all of us, he was still the same. He was still the same. And um, I'll just, given the limited time, I'll just share some very personal things with Shri Gurudev, that how he made us such an integral part of his family. He was for us everything for our family. We were just fortunate, not that we had any qualifications, especially myself, but it was simply his mercy that he embraced us so much, and just like our family member. My father had lost his father. My grandfather, I never saw him. My father was only about 4 years old when the India-Pakistan partition happened. And my grandfather was very well off, very rich. But because of the partition, when they moved to India, and they didn't come to India when the partition happened because he thought everything will settle down and they would be able to, keep all their wealth. He was a huge money lender, but they waited till November when things became very bad in Pakistan. They had to come to India and they couldn't bring anything with them. So all his wealth was left there. And so when he came to India, this was back in January 1948. My father is only 4 or 5 years old, and my grandfather passed away. He could not bear the shock of his children who used to live in such luxury. Now they were literally on the streets. So my father had not seen a fatherly love, but when Shri Gurudev came, Shri Gurudev was just like his father, and he would just treat my father just like his son. My father will discuss everything with him. So Shri Gurudev was everything for us. And when he was there was no problem. My father will discuss everything of his life, his business, and he would just come to our home. And when he will come and sit on the couch, he would just start joking and talking to us as if our grandfather has come, or my father will think his father has come. And Shri Gurudev never made us feel that he was someone so special. He would just part of our family. One time he came almost unannounced. We had actually um, something happened, and Gurudev had to come to Delhi, and he called us. And of course, he's coming. We wanted to be with him, and he would come very often to our home, almost every other month, and he would stay for a few days. So he came, and we actually the next day we had a marriage in our family, and we all very close family members, and we had to go for the marriage. But now Gurudev is at our home, and Madhav Maharaj, who was that time Naveen Krishna Brahmachari, he was there. And we could not, we didn't feel like going to the marriage. So we were trying to arrange that we would, one of us will go, maybe my father will go with we are 3 siblings, one of us will go, but others will just stay because Shri Gurudev is there. And somehow, Gurudev got the whiff of it. I think Naveen Krishna Prabhu, Madhav Maharaj went and told him. So Gurudev called us in the room. He said, am I not your father? So we said, yes, Gurudev, you are our Gurudev. You are everything. So he said that when you have a family function, it's your obligation to go. So you must all of go, and I will take care of your house. I will stay here and I will take care of everything. So that was, we didn't have any words to say, because normally I'd seen the other side, the guru is there and you have to drop everything and you have to be there. serving him. And here Gurudev is saying that no, you should go. You have social obligations, you have family obligations, you must take care of them. And he just stayed at our home. We went and he stayed and he took care of everything. So so like this, Gurudev would he would come and he would joke. One time he was in Houston, and so he called from our phone. He wanted to talk to my parents, and he called them. And then every time he would call, he would just joke with them and laugh with them. And then he was talking to my brother, and then he told him, "Oh, I'm sitting with your elder brother here. Did he ever bring any gifts for you when he came to India?" So, and then he was joking and he says, Did he bring? No. See, he's such a miserly guy, kanjus. In Hindi, we say kanjus. So he was calling me kanjus, miserly. And, I was just bursting into laughter that Gurudev is calling me a miser. And well, Gurudev, whenever he said something, there was so much depth in it. And I could feel that, yes, I am very miserly because I'm still clinging to everything. I'm not giving myself up completely to Shri Gurudev. When he is there, who's come from the spiritual world, there is no doubt about it. He's giving us so much, but I'm still holding back. I'm holding back my time. I'm holding back my energy. I'm holding back myself to give myself 100% for his service. So, in that sense, I'm so miserly. Unfortunately, I'm still like that. And hopefully, one day, Gurudev will allow me to dedicate myself 100% at his lotus feet. How much time we have? Like just maybe 5 more minutes, or?
Prabhuji, I think you've got about like another 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, so what I would like to share with everyone, there's so much more I wanted to share. Just one quick memory, and then I want to share about Shri Gurudev Centennial Vyas Puja. How Gurudev was bhavgrahi. He was always looking for our hearts, not so much necessarily the external that we shared with him. So we were in Mathura, and I'm sitting in his room, and there was a rich man from Mathura sitting there, and Gurudev introduced and said that he has given a lot of donation for building the temple. And we were having some discussion, and then while this was going on, and this is again that small room of Shri Gurudev, one Mataji, old Mataji, she came and stood at Gurudev's door. And she opened, she had a knot tied in her sari. In India, ladies would tie some money if they had in a knot in the sari. So she opened it up and she gave some rupees. There were a total of 9 rupees to Gurudev. So Gurudev said, "Where did you bring it from?" So she said, "Gurudev, I want to give this to you." So Gurudev said, she was, that time Uma Didi used to stay in the mutt, and this Mataji, she was an old devotee, elderly lady, and she used to also stay downstairs. So Gurudev said that you must have collected this money over several months, because she had no source of income. She was all by herself, no family, 10 paisa, 20 paisa. This is early 90s. And you have collected these 9 rupees. Keep it for yourself, because when you have some need, this money will be of use to you. So she said, Gurudev, you are my everything. Whatever I need, you provide me. I have no use for this money. This was so inspiring. We cling and we give a little bit and we think, oh, we have given so much. And literally she had nothing but those 9 rupees as her possession, and she wanted to give everything to Shri Gurudev. So Gurudev said, no, no, you keep it. And she insisted. She burst into tears. No, Gurudev, you please take this. So Gurudev took it and put it under his pillow. And then he said, when she left, he told that rich man, he said, I'm never going to spend these 9 rupees because this is her heart. She said, he said that you may have given hundreds and thousands of rupees, but the value of these 9 rupees is so much more. So, now I had seen sadhus and sannyasis who, if some rich man came and gave money to them, would get such special treatment. But here was Shri Gurudev who understood the love behind what that Mataji was giving. And he said that I'm never going to spend that money. So this is Shri Gurudev who's Bhav Grahi. Of course, we want to give everything to him, but more than anything else, we want to give our hearts to him. So I know so many such wonderful devotees all over the world who have given their self, and they're doing so much for Gurudev's mission across the world. Shri Gurudev's contributions are unparalleled. If he had not come, then we would not have understood what real bhakti is. And what Mahaprabhu really came to give, that each acharya has a very special role to play. And Gurudev established that conception that was given by Mahaprabhu, but the foundation was laid, and then he came and gave that very, very special Unnat Ujjwal Ras that Mahaprabhu came to give. So for that, we are internally indebted to him. So as part of our gratitude, we want to express to Shri Gurudev on his centennial Vyas Puja. I just want to make a short announcement before I conclude that Gurudev had collected so many beautiful devotees and wonderful devotees all over the world. And we want to have all the devotees come together and present to Shri Gurudev a huge bouquet of flowers, these fragrant flowers of their heartfelt offerings to Shri Gurudev, Vyas Puja offerings. So for which we have a website that we have created where devotees can come and submit their offerings. We also have other ways. I'm just going to share this and see if everyone can see this. You can submit your offering by WhatsApp. You can just audio record it or video record it, or you can write it and just send it to this WhatsApp. You can send it by email to sgvp2021@gmail.com, or you can submit it online to shilgurudev.com. You can go there, create an account. It's very easy to use. We have sent this announcement almost 2 months ago, but I am sorry to say that not a lot of devotees have sent their offerings. Very, very few. The numbers are so minuscule that I'm really begging everyone. This is a very special occasion. Centennial comes once in a lifetime. Of course, every day we have to remember Shri Gurudev. Every day we have to commit ourselves to Shri Gurudev. But this is a very special occasion. And whatever we share, that would be inspiring for everyone, not just for now, but for ages to come. And this is an offering directly to Shri Gurudev. If Shri Gurudev was here, what we would be saying to him, what we would be presenting to him. This is our opportunity to recommit ourselves. I know things have happened, and many times devotees are a bit discouraged, but I think Centennial is an opportunity for us to connect, to recommit, in one sense, to renew our vows to Shri Gurudev that we are his and our life is for his mission. So I want to request each one of you, beg each one of you to please submit your offerings. He is Yogacharya. He touched hundreds and thousands of life. So we should have at least a few thousand offerings at Shri Gurudev's lotus feet, which would be very pleasing to him. So please, if you can all take some time and write something from your heart. We have received offerings which are so beautiful. And I can say, even if some devotees have just written a few lines, but they're so heart touching. We don't have, sometimes devotees are saying, oh, we don't know how to write, or we don't know the shlokas. That's not important. Gurudev is bhav grahi, just like he understood the mood of that old Mataji. He wants something coming from our heart. So whatever you say or whatever you write, it would be pleasing to Shri Gurudev. So if you can all take some time, and before December 15th, please submit your offerings. I would be We would be all very appreciative of that. So thank you once again. Sorry I've taken some few additional minutes. Thank you everyone. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Shri Gurudev ki jai.
Thank you so much, Vishnu Prabhu. Your your memories are like so beautiful, and a lot of people don't know what Srila Gurudev was like, even though he was the same. It's very difficult. A lot of people didn't know what Srila Gurudev was pre him coming to England, or not England, but the West. And it's so nice to hear them stories about Srila Gurudev, that actually he just wasn't no different. He was the exact same as he was in Mathura, as he was when he was in the West. And just it's just so beautiful. I was hearing a story previously. I don't remember who the devotee was, but he was speaking about this one Mataji who used to bring atta, like flour, chapati flour, to Srila Gurudev in Mathura, and she could only carry a handful, and normally she would climb up the stairs to get to him, to give to him. And one, like, as she got older, she wasn't able to do that, and Srila Gurudev used to run downstairs to collect that. And he said, "Oh, you've brought so much." And it just shows that the more simple we are with things, and the more simple hearted we are and sincere we are, actually, that we then are really serving Srila Gurudev. And I'm noticing that as I'm hearing more and more pastimes of Srila Gurudev, memories of Srila Gurudev, that actually everyone that has spoken has been so sincere that Srila Gurudev was able to become a part of them. He's non-different. Like you said, Sachin Prabhu last week was saying that how he was a part of his family, and it's just so beautiful that Gurudev would just immerse himself in that. So thank you so much, and hopefully what we'll do is we'll get out these messages of these various projects that are going on, so that devotees can participate in them. And also what we'll do is I'll put it up on my Facebook as well, and get hopefully more devotees be able to see this. So thank you so much for all the wonderful speakers that have spoken. I'm feeling very, very fortunate that all of you have given us some time and some of your precious moments with us. So thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaisheshabhyo namo namaha.